Greetings, Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Wednesday, bit between Christmas and New Year. And today we're going to have a Marillion day. So there are 3 little shows today all about Marillion. And we're going to kick off with a ranking of the deluxe box sets that they have released. We have got 7 at the moment, and the only one that haven't, and season's end is to come apparently. So before we start, I like all these box sets. I think they're fantastic. They're a great package, and how I've ranked them is what's in the packages, what's the 5.1 surround sound mix is like. So I've listened to all the albums on the Blu-ray on the 5.1 in my lounge on my system, which has been pretty cool. I've been doing this, I think I started this back in November, beginning of November, to give myself plenty of time, because to go through these it's been quite it's been enjoyable but a lot of work. So we've got 7, so we're going to start off coming in at number 7 with this one. Now this is of course Afraid from Sunlight, which was Marillion's 8th album, released in 1995. The album was been remastered as well. As you can see, there's a little picture of the remastered cover, but this version came out in 2019, and it's got the usual discs and the pictures, bit about the band, what they were doing at the time, telling the stories about the songs, some great pictures of the band at the time as well. It's a really little good booklet. I really enjoy it. It's got some really nice pictures here, and very, very enjoyable. So what do we get on this? So on disc 1 you get the 2019 Michael Hunter remix. Disc 2 is the Dave Megan original album mix. Then on disc 3 you get a live concert, live at Ahoy, recorded on the 29th of September 1995. It's been remixed by Michael Hunter. And on this you get intro to the Skater's Waltz, which is pretty good. Bit of music from Mr. Johann Strauss. Then we get Incommunicado, Hux and You, Gapaccio. I think the live version of this song is much better. Then they get Icon, which is a little bit you get on one of the singles. Then there's Beautiful, Hotel Hobbies, White Russian Easter, Mad at the Opium Den, Hard as Love, Hollow Man. Disc 4 is the second part of the concert, and on here we've got Kaylee, Lavender, Afraid of Sunlight, Cannibal, Surf Babe, Cover My Eyes, Slante Marth, King, Splintering Heart, No One Can, and The Great Escape. The Uninvited Guest, Garden Party. As with all Marillion live albums, brilliant. The Michael Hunter's really mixed it well, and it sounds good. I even played this through the 5.1, although it's not 5.1, it's a really nice sound. So then we get the Blu-ray disc. So you get on this an LPCM stereo remix, the DTX 5.1. So this is the album I listened to. So Gapaccio on this is much clearer now, especially the talking about the heavyweight champion of the world and all the speaking. It's really good because you get it coming out of all your speakers. It's really good. And the best bit about this is Pete's bass. It's really, really good. And then we get Cannibal, Surf Babe. Again, the detail of Mark's keyboard on this. There's some things on there that I've never heard. Ian's drums are much clearer. Really good. Okay, then we get Beautiful. Not one of the best songs on the album, but it's a really good solo on here. Steve Hogarth's vocals are much clearer. Afraid of Sunrise. This song is very eerie on here, and it sounds much better on the 5.1 surround. Out of This World. Now this has always been one of my favourite tracks off this album, and the remix is absolutely brilliant. They've really taken the bits of the actual broadcast, really makes it more eerie and sad, and it's just great. Afraid of Sunlight, the remix of this, is the definitive version of this song. The keyboards of Mark Kelly, especially the piano bit, is brilliant. Steve Hogarth's vocals are really good on this. Then we get Beyond You. It's always been a very pastiche and 60s, but the remix really has given it that extra depth. The vocals have got more of an echo on it. It is a really, really good version. And then the King. This is amazing on here. All the bits, like dong dong dong, the King, Elvis Presley and Anna Myrtle use, really, you can hear it. You got one bit, you got the Elvis steadies in front of you, and then you get the Anna Myrtle at the back of you. It's really, really good. Great version. I've always had an affection for this album because of its diversity, and listening onto the surround sound is amazing. Now, this album was put together very quickly, and the demands of EMI, and they did a really good job. And also on the on this, we get the documentary, of course. Fantastic documentaries. All these documentaries are fantastic. There's lots of bits here about Dave Meegan, who was a bit of a perfectionist. And there's stories of Steve Hogarth saying, "Do you want me this week?" Nah. It went through the album that EMI were sort of pushing them to get this album out, and I think they did a grand job. It's a really good documentary, as I said. Then we get some. Again, we get the promo for Beautiful. I really like the video to this. It's quite good. Steve Hogarth. It's all about him. The rest of the band don't get much look into it. Then we get some tracks that they're not on a CD. They're just on the Blu-ray. So you get Icon, which is a very proggy piece. Live Forever. Never been keen on this. Second Chance, Beautiful, which is a demo version of Beautiful, and you get a school choir in it. The Beyond You demo, another interesting version. A studio outtake of California Surf Babe. Out of This World, the studio outtake. It's basically an unplugged version of it. Bass Frenzy. This is just Pete going mad on a bass. And we got Mirages. Just little bits of guitars and what have you. Afraid from Sunlight acoustic. I love this. The piano is lovely. And then Ascending Synth Groove, a little piece that would end up as California Surf Babe. Velvet Lawns, bits of Gazpacho. Building Guitar, another bits from Gazpacho. Band of Gold, more just jamming. An early version of Gazpacho. Surfer Bass, which is the bass of California Cannibal Surf. And then we get an early version of that, basic, beautiful to say. KD Lang. Nothing to do with KD Lang, I don't think. It's just bits and bobs. And then we get early versions of Out of This World, Afraid from Sunlight and Beyond You. Crunchy guitar idea, just Steve looking about. A Deep Purple vibe. This is lots of Hammond organ. An early version of King and Happy Accidents. It's just a jump between Mark Kelly and Steve Rothery. A great package. I think this is really good. And the concerts, there's no concert footage on this, which is a great shame, but I love the documentary, so I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8.9. Okay then, coming at number 6, we have this one. This is the most current one that came out this year. It's Holidays in Eden, which was the 6th album from 1991. And again, you get some rare. Open it up again, you can see stories about what was going on at the time, pictures of the band at the time. Pete Travaris with his ponytail. That's a nice picture. Holidays in Eden sort of thing. Splintering Heart. Got all the lyrics. So as you see, it's really good. It's got some really nice pictures in here. Yeah, so this is a pretty good package. I like how it was presented. So on this one will feature the brand new stereo mix by Stephen W. Taylor. Discs 2 and 3, a concert from Hammersmith Odeon recorded on the 30th of September 1991. I saw them at this time on this tour. So we got Splintering Heart, Garden Party, Dryland, King of Sunset Town, The Party, Easter, The Space Holloway Girl, The Creepy Collection, Waiting to Happen, Cover My Eye. That was disc 2. Disc 3 starts with Cover My Eyes, Lords of the Backstage, Blind Curve, which they haven't done for a little while, and it's great to hear this out again. The Invited Guests, This Town, The Rakes, Progress, and 100 Nights, which are absolutely superb. Slance Lamarth, Holidays in Eden, which is always good live. No One Can, Berlin, which is brilliant, and Incommunicado. Very good concert. I saw them at the Aston Villa Leisure Centre, which is right next to Villa Park, and I think that Steve Hogarth was a little bit more settled now in the band after the season's end, of course. So disc 4 is the Blu-ray, and on here we get a 48/24 stereo mix and the DTS HD 5.1. So what does that sound like? Well, Splintering Heart, the first thing you notice is the more crisper keyboards and drums from Ian Mosley. When he goes, when my heart wants to burst, it seems to explode round your whole of you. It's really good. Cover My Eyes. This seems a really lot heavier than on the original mix. The guitar riffs are really strong, and that bass line from Pete is much better. The vocals are good. It's not so poppy either. It's more of a rock track. It sounds more like how it's sounded live. The Party. Now, I discovered listening to this that there's more keyboard parts on this than I actually knew. I mean, I've listened to this a lot, but this is the first time I've really sat down and really listened for this. I think it's a brilliant version. The solo's even better. It's crisper. It's clear. No One Can. I'm still not very keen on this track. I don't think I ever will be. But I must admit it does sound a little bit better. Then we get Holidays in Eden. Steve Rothery's riffs are much heavier again. That backing vocal sounds a lot better. Ian Mosley's drums sound better. It's not a smooth poppy sound anymore. It's a good rock track. Dryland. The bass line's a lot heavier. I wasn't very keen on this. The acoustic guitars sound a little better. They've taken off the smoothness and just give it a little bit of a sharp edge. Really good. Waiting to Happen, the acoustic guitars sound much richer. It sounds like that Steve's playing them sitting next to you. Really good. This Town, more heavier. Oh, much better. This is what it should sound like. Just like the Rakes Progress, 100% better. Steve Hogarth's vocals are much better. 100 Nights, this is fantastic now. Richer. The harmonies, brilliant. I think this is the definitive version of Holidays in Eden. It's far better than the original mix, without a doubt. It even sounds good on the CD, but if you really want to get the benefit of this, listen to it on 5.1. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Then we get some remastered stuff that you sort of get on the remastered 1998 disc as well. Sympathy, which was the Rare Burst song, really good. How Can It Hurt, key guitar work. A Collection, that creepy song. Then got Cover My Eyes, and acoustic versions, alright. Acoustic version of Sympathy. I Walk on Water, an alternative mix. Splintering Heart at the Moles Club. Now I love this. It's got that guitar start, that and it's much better. Then you got You Don't Need It Anymore. This is a song that I was never keen on. No One Can. Nah. The Party. The Moles Club demo. Yeah, there was working on it. This Town. Very raw and basic. Waiting to Happen doesn't sound thing. Then there's a thing called Eric. Now this is on the Stoke Road to Napa video. It's when he's playing with them gloves. The epic fairground that actually became 100 Nights. Then we have the documentary, The Story of Holidays in Edens. As all with the documentaries, really good. The band talking about how they were happy that they weren't as happy with the original mix, but they're much happier with it then. There was a lot of friction between the band and the record label. They brought a producer that I don't think they were really keen on having. I think EMI were looking for a pop thing and they didn't want to do it. I think there was a lot of bitterness with this album, and although they didn't come out and blatantly said it, you know that they were a little frustrated. So then we get the Cover My Eyes promo video. Steve Hogarth in a chair with lots of girls dancing around him. No One Can. Don't like that. Dryland, great video. Steve Hogarth, they sent him to Iceland to film it, and the rest of the band were in Iceland, sorry. This Town is a demo thing. And then you get a concert on this from live at Rock Palast. And the set was Splintering Heart, Cover My Eyes, Slantane Marth, invited guest, The Party, Easter Live, No One Can, This Town, The Rakes, Progress, Kaylee, Kings of Sunset Sound, Holidays in Eden, Hooks in You, Freaks, which was unusual, which was really good, Incommunicado, Garden Party, Sugar Mife, and Script. Really nice seeing this. I mean, I saw them on this tour, and at the end, an extra Freaks, which is totally different to how Fish sang it. It's really good. Again, a very good package. Yeah, but it has got the best version of Holiday in Eden I've got. So I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. Okay, then coming in at number 5, we have this one, Brave, which was the 7th album that came out in 1994, and this was released in 2018. Once again, what the first thing you notice, I don't know, you can't see on here, but on the cover the writing is just a little bit more embossed and shiny. Open it up, there's some of the discs, and as usual, we find the right pages. We get pictures of the band recording it, which they were doing them in their new studio. Pictures from the movie, which we will review at some stage. The mixing desk, more stories about what was going on. Some great pictures of the band. Nice little book again. It's a really good read. And you get the Blu-ray in there and the rest of the discs. Excellent little package. So this has been remixed by Stephen Wilson, who knows a bit about prog, of course. So disc 1 features the stereo remix of the album. Disc 2 is the 1984 Dave Meegan mix. And disc 3 and 4 contains Marillion's The Gig. This was 1994 for the Segal in Paris. I actually saw them in Aylesbury on this tour. And it was newly remixed by Michael Hunter again. It's got Brave in its entirety. Some of these songs appeared on the Made Again album, but these recordings have been expanded with 9 released tracks including renditions of favourites as well. The Blu-ray contained a 5.1 version of this as well. So, disc 1, let's go down to the concert. So it's got River, which is the boats and that bridge, live in a big lie, run away, goodbye to all that wave, Mad, the opening dead, the slide, standing in the swing, Hard as Love, the Hollow Man, Alone in the Luxury, Now Wash Your Hands, Paper Lies, Braves, Great Escape, Made Again. And then disc 4 is the rest of the concert, which was Cover My Eyes, Slante Marth, No One Can, Sympathy, Easter, Garden Party, Waiting to Happen, Boxing You in the Space. Again, a really good concert. I've been lucky enough to see both their sort of concept albums played live, and hearing the whole of Brave live is just amazing. So on the Blu-ray you get the 5.1 mix. Bridge, well, being the surround sound, that you get that lovely eerie warmth of the foghorn. Brilliant. Living with the big lie, the first thing you notice about that is the vocals have been enriched, much clearer. The bass line from Pete is more driving. When Ian Mosley hits them drums, they're so clear. The guitar solo is amazing as well. Then we get Runaway. The dialect which comes from the movie Brave is a lot clearer. You get more into it, and then you get the Mark's little piano bit. It's amazing. Goodbye to all that. This is the start of that poignant part of the album, going into the opium den. This is amazing. You get amazing swells of keyboard and vocal. Sounds a lot much better remixed, and the 5.1 version is good as well. Then we get Hard as Love. Great again. The heavier guitar is much better. Stronger vocal from Steve. The Hollow Man. This has always been a lovely piece. Now the 5.1 version actually sounds like you've got Mark Kelly's sitting and watching in your living room. Amazing stuff. Alone Again in the Lap of Luxury. The vocals have been totally remixed on here. The backing vocal is much clearer, and you can actually hear Steve Hogarth doing his own backing vocals. And then it goes into the Now Wash Your Hands, which is really eerie. Paper Lies, the sound effects are much eerie. You can hear the paper machines and the newspaper coming off the rolls. Absolutely fantastic. Brave, I've always liked this, the Celtic, and I thought the original mix lacked something, but there's more echo on it, more atmosphere. The Great Escape, that first part, you get that strong vocal again. Steve Wilson's really pulled this apart and put it back together. Fantastic. Made Again, never been a fan of this, but the 5.1 version has really changed my mind. The acoustic guitars are really good, and Pete joins in with acoustic guitar that really adds to it. This is probably one of my favourite Marillion albums, you know, but the 5.1 version is absolutely astounding. The documentary on here again is good. Excuse Rocky. It tells you where they got a lot of the sounds from. They recorded some on Liverpool Station, on the tube, like the metro. There's a busker on there that they got in to come and play some stuff as well. The children talking is actually still Hogarth's children. It's another excellent video. Yeah, the Great Escape promo video, little bits from the Brave movie, pretty good. The Hollow Man, again, mixes of the band and actual clips of the movie. Alone Again in the Lap of Luxury, and this is all the videos. Forming, yeah, great, despite spiral remake. There's no much difference in it, to be quite honest. Another good box set. There's anything lacking? I think there's some live footage of the band performing live. Brave live would have been nice, but I'm not complaining because the surround sound version of Brave is just fantastic. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.2. Okay then, coming in at number 4, we have this one, Misplaced Childhood, which was the third album that was released in 1985, and this came out in 2017. And if you put it up closely, it's actually been signed. I don't know if they've been actually signed, but there's some signatures on there. I think I've got Steve Rothery. Don't know whose that one is. And that's Mark Kelly. So as usual, it's got a little sticker on this one. If we open it up, it's got some really cool pictures. I've got a ticket just like that. And the same thing, and there's one of the discs just falling out. This was a little bit loose, this is. So yeah, that's very similar to the ticket I had. Bits from the Milton Keynes Bowl gig. Great picture artwork from Mark Wilkinson on here. Picture of the band at the time. Lots of stories. Great picture of Fish. Kaylee cover. More pictures of the band doing the thing. The little boy from the video. Some more great pictures of the band on the Misplaced Childhood tour. And once again, a very nice package. So, what do we get on this one? Well, CD1 is the 2017 remaster version on the CD. Then on CD2, this is a concert that was recorded at Utrecht in Holland. Now, I've had a bootleg of this concert for many years that was done at the concert I was at, the NEC. I've still got it because it's got the sound check on it, and some of the in between talking from Fish is absolutely brilliant. So what do you get on this one? First you get Emil Lies, the intro, just the intro, and it goes straight into script for a Jesters Tear, the brilliant Incubus, Chelsea Monday, and the only time I ever heard Marillion do the web live was on this tour. Then CD3 is the whole of Misplaced Childhood, Pseudo Silk Kimono, Kaylee Lavender Bittersweet, Heart of Lothian, Waterhole Express Bongo, Lord of the Backstories, Blind Curve, Child's End, White Feather Fugazi, Garden Party, and Market Square Heroes. This is a great live album. As I said, I saw these on this part of the tour, and it's brilliant. CD4 is demos and B-sides. So first thing you get is the full version of Lady Nina, not the 7-inch hacked to bits version. This is the proper version, best version of it. You got that really rich keyboard from Mark Kelly on it, and the drums, really cool. Then we get Freaks, a song that I really love. That's what I used to like about Marillion. They used to play their B-sides. Kaylee, the alternative mix. This was on the B-side of the 12-inch single. It's a bit more plinky plonky, but I prefer the proper version. Lavender Blue. Never a great lover of this single, but the extended guitar solo's alright. Heart of Lothian. This is your sort, you get bits of Bittersweet. Well, then you get Lady Nina, the Steve Wilson 7-inch remix. And then you get a demo of the whole album in its demo form. And that's quite fun to listen to. I quite like that. The strip down of Misplaced Childhood is really interesting. It's good to see how they put it together. And this is how it's ended up. So we'll go on to the Blu-ray disc. So the first thing is a 72-minute documentary, Childhood Memories. This is really good. They're sitting in the studio, and you can tell that they are all still friends because they were having such fun. They were talking. It's just the five of them, and Chris Kingsley came in as well. And there's nothing false about this. There's lovely bits where Fish talks about the pressures of it all, and certain things hadn't happened. He thinks the band would have not gone their separate ways, which is right. I think EMI and their managers, it was just touring, and I think being in that close proximity of someone for that long, I think it sort of broke down, which is bad. It tells about some of the drunken nights they had together, and some of it ended up on the album on White Feather. It's so good. It is absolutely brilliant. Then we get the Steve Wilson 5.1 surround mix version of the Misplaced Childhood. Pseudo silk kimono even. The bass pedals sound much better on this. I think the vocal from Fish is much better. Some delicate guitar work from Steve Rothery on this. Kaylee. Steve Wilson certainly tweaked Ian Mosley's drums on this. They're a lot crisper. Pete's bass line is more defined. The keyboard bit's much better. There's bits there that I didn't realise were on there. Lavender, I couldn't find too much difference from the original. The guitar's a little bit more prominent, I suppose. Bittersweet. Now this track definitely has been improved, and that bit of the vocal bit, you know, a spider walks aimlessly. It's brilliant. A little bit more atmosphere on the bass line in Bible Black. There's some little bits of keyboard in it I didn't realise were there again. Heart of Lothian sounds much richer. The bass sounds great. Mosley's drums are awesome on that. Then we get Waterhole Express Bongo. This is even better. Now, as I said, I've got this soundtrack and that bit where they're doing little. He's testing that out on stage, and Steve Wilson must have liked it because it's more prominent on this. Much better. Lord of the Backstage, not much training, but the drumming's a little bit more defined. Blind Curve. Now this is another track that benefited from the remix. Milo is wonderful on this, absolutely wonderful. And then you get that bit, could it be mystical? Oh, that is so eerie now. You know, against the child, the echo is much better. Lot crisper guitar work, brilliant. Steve Wilson, you're an absolute gem with this one. Childhood's End again sounds better. It's got real that corporate 80s production on it. Steve Wilson has really cleaned this one up again, made it more rocky. White Feather, the most prominent thing in this is the guitar solo, and you can hear the band doing their Glasgow Children, very drunken. There's lots of drunken noise on it. I think this is the definitive version of Misplaced Childhood. I think Steve Wilson's done a fantastic job with this. Great listen. And then we get the promo videos. Kaylee, nice shot of Berlin, West Berlin at the time, because the wall was still up. Lavender, I found this phone. There was more MTV and all that nonsense. Then Heart of Lothian. This is my favourite, one of my favourite videos behind Garden Party. Notable for the appearance of Glyn Edwards, better known much as Dave Harris in The Minder. Who owned the Winchester Club. I love the bit where Fish gets picked up in the hearse. Lots of comedy of errors, and then the bit of playing in the pub. Fantastic video. Lady Nino video. I mean, this was released as a single in the States. I don't like the video to this. It's just that MTV nonsense again. Okay, once again, a brilliant package from the band. Steve Wilson's mix is fantastic. Really enjoyed this one, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. Okay then, coming in at number 3. Let's move that disc out the way. My favourite Marillion album, Clutching at Straws, the 4th album, Fish's Last, was released in 87. It was remastered again in 1999, and this version came out in 2018. Once again, it's got some really nice artwork from Mark Wilkinson. Stunning stuff. As usual, bits of the words, the actual lyrics that Fish wrote. I think it's actually got the cover they really wanted. I'm going to find it. I'm sure it has. Where is it? It's on the actual disc. See, that's the cover, if you can see, that Fish wanted on the album, the card, but he got poo-pooed for that. So, nice package again, as usual. So what do they give you on this? We have, the disc 1 is the remix done by Andy Brayfield and Avril McIntosh. Disc 2 is first part of Live at the Edinburgh Playhouse. Now, some of this was on the La Gaza Ladra live album. Again, I saw them on this tour. So you get the intro to La Gaza Ladra, The Thieving Magpie by Rossini, Slante Mouth, Assassin, White Russian, Incubus, Sugar Mice, Fugazi, Hotel Hobbies, Warm Wet Circles, That Day of the Night. Then disc 3 starts off with part 1 of Misplaced Childhood, Pseudo Silk Kimono, the intro, Kaylee Lavender, Bittersweet Heartolodium, The Last Straw, Incommunicado, Garden Party, and Market Square Heroes. Now, I had issues with this tour a little bit. It was a great show, but there was female backing vocals were on songs that just didn't need it. She should have only sung on the bits that were on Clutching at Straws. I didn't like her singing Fugazi. I didn't like her singing Kaylee. None of that. And on, I just didn't like it. Sorry, but it didn't spoil the show. It was, it was the last time I saw Marillion with Fish. So disc 4 is called Demos and Extras. Now these are songs very confusing, because some of the music would end up on Season's End, and some of the lyrics would end up on A Vigil of Wilderness. So the first track is called Beaujolais Day. You've got, I think, lyrics that are going to end up on, can't remember which one, but the music would end up on Season's End. Then we get Stories from the Thin Wall. The music actually became the song Berlin off Season's End, but the lyrics eventually became Family Business off Vigil. Shadows on the Barley. The lyrics, I think it was one of them one's Fish just making up as he goes along. The music ended up as Belle of the Sea, one of the B-sides from the Season's End sessions. Exile on Princess Street became Eternal Exile with a different tune. Sunset Hill, this never saw the light of day, but the lyrics would eventually become Sunset Town. Or no, the music would eventually become The Kings of Sunset Town. Tic Tac Toe probably became just a little bit of nonsense. A Voice in the Crowd. Some of this music came on to what was This Town. Then we get a demo called White Russians, which is the demo, very laid back version. Then you get demo versions of Sugar Mice in the Rain, Hotel Hobbies, Just for the Record, Torch on the Slante Mouth. I love this disc because you got bits of things that became a Fish album, and the rest of the music became Season's End. So we come onto the Blu-ray disc. So you get two different other mixes of the album. So as usual, I listen to the 5.1. So you get Hotel Hobbies. The first thing that you notice is that bell at the beginning. You can hear it much clearer now. The drumming in this has been tweaked. So has Mark Kelly's keyboards. And the guitar solo from Steve is different from what I thought it was. Walnut Circles, I've always loved this, but now on the surround sound you can hear that amazing keyboard part better. Fish's vocals are much clearer, really good. That Time of the Night, the bass line really echoes round the room on that one. And there's two female voices that have been overdubbed on here. I've never heard it until I listened to this. So I love the bit where he goes, if I had enough money I'd buy a round for the boy over there. It's very prominent on this version. Then there's Going Under. I've never been a good fan of this, but listening to it on the 5.1 you're hearing stuff that you didn't realise was there. Just for the record, this has always been a quirky track, but on the 5.1 version you get the Mark Kelly's keyboards are much more prominent. Great vocal from Fish as well. He comes from behind you, which is really strange. White Russian, this is so much better in 5.1 and remixed. The drumming is magnificent for me and Mosley as usual, and vocals from Fish are superb. Incommunicado, Mark Kelly's keyboard's got extra zip on this, so's the guitar, much heavier than the original mix. Torch Song, again there's little bits of keyboard on there that I've never heard until I've picked it up there. I've tried to get it under the headphones and I never heard it. Slime Flame Arth, still amazing. The guitars are so crisp on this. Sugar Mice, the vocals are so much more enhanced. Really good. The Last Straw sounds a lot better. The vocals are much richer. The solo sounds better, and this is probably my favourite version of this song on this disc. Happy Ending, still eerie, but the 5.1 makes it even more scary. When I heard that remaster in 1999, I thought, well, they haven't changed this much. But wow, this version has totally blown it out the water. That's great. I think you can hear Tessa Niles' backing vocals a lot better. Then we get the documentary The Final Straw. Fantastic and fascinating. Mick Wall of Rock Journalist does this, and I gathered from this that there was so much pressure from Marillion, from EMI, to produce the goods again. And this is where it all started going wrong. I think there was so much pressure on this band. They wanted the album very quick, and I think Fisher said that you know, they wanted it like album very quick. You know, they think they needed, after that, the Misplaced Childhood tour, they wanted to take at least 12 to 18 months off before starting this, but it didn't happen, and I think that's why Fish left. And it's good that they sorted it all out and they've done all this together now, and that's the main thing. Then we get the videos. We get Incommunicado video. I love this. The Tramps. I remember doing that dance at the end of this at my 21st birthday party. But less said about that, the better. Sugar Mice. The MTV sort of videos. The best thing about it is when the band comes up through the bar. Then we get Warm Out Circles. This was footage from the Live at the Lorelei. That's a good video. I've been there. And then we get Incommunicado, the alternative version, which appeared on the 12-inch. Tucks on, one of my favourite B-sides by Marillion. I love the story behind this. I've talked about that before. Going Under, just a typically extended version. And that's your package. Great package. What they should have done was have done a remix of Live at the Lorelei on this. I love the documentary. It's the most fascinating of all the ones they've done. I felt really sorry for the band, how they were treated by EMI and their manager as well at the time. He was raking them. All he wanted to do was rake money. He didn't really care about the band's health. But a great package. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 9.6. So coming at number 2, yeah, this one, the debut album, Script for a Jester's Tear, and this came out in 2020. Again, wonderful pictures of the band at the time. Lovely artwork as usual from Mark Wilkinson. Some really good old pictures from the band when they started, featuring all the people that sort of were in the band before we got the lineup. Great pictures of them gigging. I mean, look at some of the things they were wearing in the time. I mean, look at Steve Rothery with his caftan on. Great picture of Mick Pointer there. Picture of Fish. Usual sort of thing. Little bits of posters and everything. So, once again, spot on packaging. Great little booklet to read. Very interesting. So, on this one, Disc 1 features the brand new stereo mix of this album. Disc 2 features the Market Square Heroes EP and Charting the Single. And then Disc 3 we'll talk about in a minute. So the Blu-ray, first thing you get is the 5.1 version of the album, Script for a Jester's Tear. First thing you notice about this, the drums. They've really made Mick Pointer's drums sound much richer and much clearer. Steve Rothery's guitar work is great, really good. He Knows You Know, they've really improved the vocals on that, as well as the guitar solos. The Web, now this is the best, probably the best song that's been remixed. You get that end of the phone call of "Don't Give Me Your Problems" before it goes into it. The I Realise, I Know My Realise My Key to Freedom sounds much better around here, and that guitar riff that goes in the end sounds brilliant. Then we get Garden Party. When they remixed this before, they said they'd cleaned up all the vocal bits, and I think they've even done a better version of this. The keyboard is much better. Great. They've really cleaned that one up. Chelsea Mundy, we finally get the definitive version of Chelsea Mundy's studio version. Pete's bass line is terrific. The vocals sound brilliant. The Fish's overdub backing vocals are brilliant. And the thing I'd really like about this, when he goes, "Hello, John, did you see us standing?" You can actually understand exactly what he's saying. And it comes in a different speaker to the rest of it. It's just, the 5.1 has really made it crystal clear. And Forgotten Sons is just brilliant on here. Awesome stuff. So Disc 2 on the Blu-ray is Market Square Heroes as well. The drums are much clearer, sound really good. 3 Boats, Down from the Candy sounds great. And Grendel, just brilliant on the 5.1, blows you away. Charting the Single again, I think the drumming on this sounds a lot better. The keyboards sound brilliant. Love this part of the disc, really is so clear. Disc 3 is a concert that appeared on the live bootlegs, but this is the remix version. This was recorded at the Marquee Club in 1982. So the first disc is Garden Party, 3 Boats, Down from the Candy, Grendel, Chelsea Mundy and He Knows You Know. Disc 4 is the Web, Script, Forgotten Sons, Market Square Heroes and Margaret. I've stopped playing the version off the official bootleg now because this is much better. Fantastic gig. And then we get a brilliant documentary called Sack, Cloth and Grease Paint. This is brilliant. It tells the story of how Marillion got up to the script release. Interviews with Fish, Mark Kelly, Diz Minute, Mick Pointer, Steve Rothery and Pete and Mark Wilkinson. Brilliant. Probably one of my favourite documentaries. It's just great seeing Mick Pointer and Diz Minute, Mark Wilkinson being included on this, because they did do their little bit. Then we get a little bit of live footage of He Knows You Know backstage interview with Fish. Get some little bits. Then we get the videos of Market Square Heroes done at the marquee. He Knows You Know, very creepy video, but it stars Mark Kelly's daughter Freya, who was a baby at the time. Garden Party, my favourite video, features the brilliant Andy Ward as well. Lots of tomfoolery. Then we get a really great remix of we all had this on VHS, recital of the script. Sounds absolutely amazing. Now you've got script, Garden Party, The Web, Chelsea Monday, He Knows You Know, Forgotten Sons, Market Square Heroes and Grendel. I had this video for years. The Grendel and the Web were on a little EP that came in a blue box. This box set is brilliant. You get the definitive versions of some of these songs. Love it to death, and I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.8. So if you haven't guessed, my favourite box set is this one, Fugazi, the second album, released in '84, and this came out in 2021. And again, got a picture of the album cover. Pictures, and there's the full album cover by Mark Wilkinson, and it tells the torrid story. There's even a picture of the band with Andy Ward on drums. It tells you the story of the Spinal Tap of drummers. Great little assassin promo video poster there. Another picture of the band when Ian's on there joined. Some of the original lyrics. And when you play this on the disc, it actually shows you the lyrics. Another great package. So on here, you get the stereo remix done by Andy Brayfield and Avril McIntosh again. Discs 2 and 3 are the concert. Blu-ray, all the usual stuff. So let's have a look at this. So the CD is the remix of Fugazi. Then we get on CD 2, we get Live at the Spectrum in Canada, 1984. Now some of these songs appeared on the reel to reel, but this is the full gig. We get Assassin, Punch and Judy, Jigsaw, Script for a Jester's Tear, Emerald Lies, Cinderella Search, Incubus. CD3 starts off with Charting the Jungle, and it's the only version I've got of Ian Mosley drumming on this, and he does a really good job. He adds a little bit more to it. He Knows You Know, Fugazi, Forgotten Sons, and Market Square Heroes, Garden Party. Once again, a really good live set. I sort of saw them on when they were at Milton Keynes Bowl with Quo. Good concert. Best version of Jigsaw on this as well. So on the Blu-ray disc, we've got the documentary. It's called The Performance Has Just Begun, The Story of Fugazi. This is my favourite documentary. All the box sets. The torrid time that they had to make in this album. From the record company pressuring them again. The production on this, how long it took. They were going from pillar to post, and then when they heard it, they weren't happy with it, and they said, well, we've got to do that, we've got to do that, and they went, no, this is it. And you got the impression from all the band that they was never happy with that mix. And you really can tell it's really, really good. And what on there you get as well is the Fugazi, the story of the songs, and it talks about each track bit by bit. of how they've done it. It's absolutely brilliant. Then we get the promo video to Assassin. Weirdest video I ever saw. And then we get a Swiss TV performance called Here We Go, recorded in 1984. This is really good. I mean, I remember seeing, this is very similar to the set that I saw them do at Milton Keynes Bowl. And yeah, it's really, really good. What also is this interview with this absolutely idiot that was interviewing them. I thought Fish at one stage was going to lump him. He wanted about fashion, and Fish told him, this is nothing about fashion. The band just couldn't care less. And when they went, they said, well, we've got to go and clear off. He put this idiot in his place. It's just great watching him for that. Then, of course, we get the Assassin 5.1 mix. So, Assassin, or Fugazi, not Assassin, the whole album. The Assassin, the start of this is so much clearer now. All that sort of Arabic, Oriental music, drums, the guitar solo is amazing. It's crisp, it's clear, they've cleaned it up. Wonderful. Punch and Judy, the best thing about this now is the bass line. It's incredible. They've really, the definitive version, without a doubt. Jigsaw. Mark Kelly's keyboard sounds so much better on this. The guitar solo, brilliant. It sounds a lot heavier. Just so much enhanced. Emerald Eyes, the drumming for me and Mosley on this is absolutely a belting. Lots of bits of keyboards from Mark Kelly. Definitive of the whole song. Brilliant. Shima Chameleon, never been a fan of this. But the church organ on this, it feels like he's sitting in the lounge with you again. The keyboard solo for Mark Kelly is brilliant. Best version of this. Incubus, the definitive version of this song. The female backing vocals are so clear. It's just an amazing version. And then Fugazi, the piano start is just incredible. Fish's voice is more definitive, it's been uplifted. Guitar work from Steve Rothery, brilliant. Just a great version of that song. Then you get all this sounds much better. I think this is the album that they really wanted, and they are so pleased with this. It just blows you away. You also get a 12-inch version of Cinderella Cersei extended, Assassin. You get the 3 Bones Down from Candy with a remix version of John Martyr, Punch and Judy demo, a She Chameleon demo, Emerald Lies demo, and an Incubus demo. This is my favourite box set, without a doubt. It's got the definitive version of Fugazi. It's the one that most of the fans have been waiting for. I love the live concert. I love the documentary. It is absolutely brilliant. It's the best package, and I am so looking forward to the last one, which is Season Ends. But for this one, I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 10 out of 10, because this is the only version of Fugazi you need now. So there we go, a little look at the Marillion box sets for you. I'll be back in a bit later when I'm going to go through a little album that I picked up at a record fair called From Out of Aylesbury. So join me for that. Bye for now.